One of the nice things about Melville, I think, is that he gives us a picture of working class life in America in the first half of the 19th century. And this is really, I think, the great work of his career. It's an epic, and it's a tragedy, and it's also a book about whaling. And the hero of this book, the narrator is called Ishmael, but the real hero of it, the central figure of it, is a man named Ahab. Captain Ahab was one of the great literary creations, right up there with King Lear and Hamlet, I think. And I use those examples deliberately because Ahab is a tragic figure. He's a tragic figure. He's tragic because he will not relent. He pursues his destiny to the absolute limitations of his power and destroys himself and his crew in the process. But for our purposes here in the American experience, something neat has happened. Melville has written a tragedy. I mentioned King Lear and Hamlet. What was the social class of those guys? High. King Lear. Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Oedipus Rex. What's Rex stand for? King. All tragic figures before Ahab were members of the powerful classes. They were monarchs. They were kings and queens. What Melville does in Moby Dick, and this is part of his great democratic vision, I think, he makes the tragic hero a fisherman from Nantucket. A fisherman from Nantucket. Of course, he's named after a king, an evil king from the Old Testament. But the tragic hero, a fisherman, a commercial fisherman from Nantucket, achieves tragic stature. Why is that an important moment in the history of literature, especially of American literature? Because what have Americans been asserting ever since 1776?
The rise of the common man.
Right. The rise of the common man, good. And that the common man is as good as?
The rich.
Is as good as the rich, yeah. We'll see this later. Arthur Miller does Death of a Salesman. And Arthur Miller often gets credit for creating the first working-class tragic hero, or middle-class tragic hero. But I think it should go to Ahab and Moby Dick and Melville. And what Melville says, that everything in America is a confidence game. Religion is a confidence game. Art is a confidence game. They're always telling you to believe, but anytime you believe in anything, it's only setting you up to be the fool, to be the gull, to be the victim of the game. And he's a profoundly bitter man by the time he writes The Confidence Man in 1856. He has no faith left anymore in art or America or religion. It's the bottom point of his life, really. He does recover, becomes more conservative as he gets older. But this is perhaps one of the darkest books in American literature. It's a story of going down the Mississippi on a paddle wheel steamship, and the confidence man comes on board and he begins to sell people whatever they want to hear, and they pay for it. And they pay for it. What does this tell us about the American dream?
It's false.
It's false. It's a confidence scam. And Melville was quite convinced in that. And in The Confidence Man, he takes some awful mean shots at Emerson and Thoreau. Because Emerson and Thoreau, what was their attitude? Was it dark?
Hopeful.
It was hopeful. And he says they're just playing a confidence game. And it's a very, very dark and bitter book.